Did you know you could sell the air above your house for more than the house itself? No, this isn't a scam. It's one of the most fascinating and lucrative secrets in real estate, known as air rights. Let's dive into how this works and how some people have become multimillionaires by selling, quite literally, thin air. Imagine you own a small, charming 4-story building in the middle of a bustling city like New York or London. All around you, towering skyscrapers are shooting up, redefining the skyline. Your little building stands its ground, a relic of a bygone era. Now, a massive developer buys the lot right next to you. Their plan? To build a 60-story luxury condominium with breathtaking city views. There's just one problem: your building. According to zoning laws, their new skyscraper can't just block your light and air. More importantly, their grand design might need to extend slightly over your property to achieve its full architectural vision. Or they might simply want to ensure their multi-million-dollar apartments have unobstructed views for decades to come. This is where your rights become a goldmine. So, what exactly are air rights? Think of your property not just as a piece of land, but as a cube of space. You own the ground beneath your house, the structure itself, and the column of air directly above it, up to a certain height defined by local zoning laws. In high-density urban areas, these laws often permit buildings to go much higher than your current structure. That unused vertical space is a transferable, sellable asset. It's called a transferable development right, or TDR. The developer next door wants to build higher than the standard zoning for their lot allows, or they want to guarantee their prime view apartments will never be blocked by a future building on your land. To do this, they can buy your unused air rights. Essentially, you're selling them the legal permission to use the vertical space that you're not using. You sell your potential to build up, so they can build up instead. Let's look at a classic real estate story that illustrates this perfectly. Picture a small historic church nestled in the heart of Midtown Manhattan, surrounded by corporate giants. A developer wants to erect a new massive office tower next door. But to maximize their floor space and profitability, they need to build higher and wider than their lot allows. So they approach the church. The church has no plans to build a skyscraper on its historic site. Its air rights are, for all practical purposes, unused. The developer makes them an offer they can't refuse. Tens of millions of dollars for the right to build into the airspace above and around the church. The church agrees. They get a massive financial windfall that can fund their operations, community programs, and preservation efforts for generations. The developer gets to build their landmark tower. It's a win-win, powered by the invisible asset of air. This happens all the time. Property owners of small walk-ups, historic theaters, and even parking lots have cashed in for millions. The value of these rights is staggering. It's not just about getting a little extra cash. In many cases, the price paid for the air rights far exceeds the value of the physical building and the land it sits on. Why? Because for the developer, acquiring that extra space could mean adding 10 more floors of luxury penthouses, each selling for tens of millions of dollars. The return on their investment in your air rights is enormous, which is why they're willing to pay a premium. Think about it from the developer's perspective. They've already spent hundreds of millions on the land. What's another 20 or 30 million to unlock an additional 200 million in sales? It's simple business math. They're not just buying air, they're buying potential profit. And you, the owner of the small adjacent property, are sitting on the key that unlocks it. But it gets even more interesting. Sometimes it's not about building higher, but about preserving a view. Let's go back to our developer building that 60-story luxury condo. The apartments on the south side have a perfect, unobstructed view of the city's main park. That view is their primary selling point, the reason they can charge a fortune. But your 4-story building is right there. And someday, someone could buy your property and build their own 30-story tower, completely blocking that priceless view. To prevent this, the developer might buy your air rights not to build, but to not build. They are paying you millions to legally restrict the height of any future development on your property forever. They are essentially buying a view easement. You get a huge payout, and all you have to do is promise not to build up. Your building stays, you get the money, and their building maintains its billion-dollar view. In some of New York's most famous deals, developers have paid astronomical sums just to have clear space for their windows and protect their investment from future construction. So, how does this process actually work? It's not as simple as a handshake deal. It involves complex negotiations, armies of lawyers, architects, and city planners. First, you need to determine how many square feet of buildable air rights you actually own. This is calculated based on your lot size and the maximum floor area ratio, or FAR, allowed by the local zoning code. An architect or a zoning consultant can figure this out for you. Once you know what you have, you can market it. Often, the developer next door will approach you directly. But in some cases, property owners proactively list their air rights for sale, just like a physical property. The price is determined by supply and demand. In a hot real estate market with lots of construction, the value of air rights can skyrocket. Negotiations can be intense, as both sides know exactly what's at stake. After a price is agreed upon, legal documents are drawn up. A zoning lot development agreement, or ZLDA, is created. This is a legally binding contract that merges the two lots for zoning purposes, allowing the transfer of development potential from your lot to theirs. This agreement is recorded and becomes a permanent part of the property's deed, binding all future owners. Now, you might be thinking, this is fascinating, but it only applies to a handful of people who own property in the heart of a megacity. And you're partially right. The most dramatic multi-million-dollar deals do happen in places with extreme density and high property values. However, the concept of transferable development rights exists in many different forms and in many more places than you might think. Some suburban and rural areas use TDR programs to preserve open space, farmland, or historic landmarks. A farmer, for instance, might be able to sell the development rights from their land to a developer in a designated growth area miles away. The farmer gets cash to continue farming, and the land is preserved as open space forever. The developer gets to build a denser project in an area the town has designated for growth. It's a powerful tool for smart urban planning, preventing sprawl while compensating landowners fairly. The story of air rights is a testament to the creativity of the real estate world. It is a reminder that value can be found in the most unexpected places, not just in bricks and mortar, but in the empty space above. It's a world where owning a small, unassuming building can make you the kingmaker in a multi-billion-dollar real estate game. The next time you walk through a big city and see a tiny old building squeezed between two colossal skyscrapers, know that it might not be there by accident. It might be the linchpin in a deal worth hundreds of millions, its owner having cashed in on the most valuable commodity of all, the sky itself. So if you ever inherit a little brownstone in a prime location, don't rush to sell the building. Look up. The real treasure might be floating right above your head. Thanks for watching, and if you found this dive into the world of real estate fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content that uncovers the hidden secrets of our world. See you next time.